is the most powerful force on planet Earth. Someone can kill a member of your family and you can get sad or you can get angry. Angry gets something done. Sad? That's just sitting around hoping others feel sorry for you. Sad belongs in the therapy room, but anger belongs out here in the world. Directed anger, focused anger. I'm going to be misunderstood because I always am. I'm not saying you start smashing your head against the wall like an idiot. I'm saying that very much like a focused concentration of water through a dam can power a city. That is how your anger should work. You should focus it in the exact direction it needs to go to solve the problem. If you're poor, get angry. If your woman left, get angry. Don't get angry at her for leaving. Get angry at yourself for being left. Don't get angry at the world you're poor. Get angry at yourself because you can't afford all the things you want. Anger is the correct response to any emotion because anger elicits instant action. You know, I'm so anti-therapy, and I've had these conversations so many times with people. Their answer is that I need therapy, supposedly. If I need therapy, how come every single person on the planet knows my name? How come every single time I walk in the room, they're like, oh, Mr. Tate, Mr. Tate. And everyone starts going, Top G, and getting cameras out. How come I'm an international celebrity with hundreds of millions of fucking dollars? How come when I was thrown in jail and put in a Romanian dungeon for 4 months to stare at the wall, I came out perfectly fine and still destroyed the mainstream media in all of their setup interviews in a way you could never do? How come I'm so monumentally successful and my women never turned on me and I have so many fucking children and all I do is win, and you're telling me that I need therapy while you're in therapy and you're a nobody? Nobody even knows who you are. I don't need therapy. I self-therapize. And I self-therapize with anger because anger makes me brave. And my bravery has allowed me to grab demons by the neck. People say to me, oh, I have anxiety. And they talk about it like it's a bad thing. Like this anxiety demon has come into his life and ruined his life. You have anxiety over stupid shit. Keep your anxiety demon, and now have anxiety that you're not rich. Get to the point where you can't sit still and watch Netflix and eat ice cream because you are too anxious about the fact that you don't have $100 million. You might start doing some work. Oh, I have depression. Great, fantastic. I'm glad you have depression because you won't feel depressed on a yacht with 20 supermodels, 300 million in the bank, and a Bugatti waiting for you in the marina. Then you won't feel depressed. So it's a good thing you have depression because you don't have those things, and now you have to get them to feel better, so get to work. I have OCD. You have OCD over dumb shit like arranging your Star Wars figurines like a fucking child. You should have OCD about getting your life in order, about being in the gym on time, about training harder than everyone around you, about getting some money in your bank. You don't have to get rid of these conditions. I would argue that Elon, the man who's putting rockets into space, probably has OCD. That's how he managed to get a rocket into space. And you're saying your OCD prevents you from fucking washing the dishes because you're a fuck up and you are a failure. Get out of therapy. I publicly state that I have anxiety. I have governments try to kill me, getting thrown in and out of jail at random, all of my assets seized, 10 girlfriends complaining, 9 baby mamas, my Jesco's broken, my private jet was clicking on the way here making a strange noise. I know they're trying to kill me anyway. I have anxiety, but I use my anxiety so that I wake up at 6:15 a.m. instantly enraged, getting to work so I win. I grabbed the demon of anxiety by his fucking neck and added him to my legion. He works for me. You have dulled your sword, so you have nothing to threaten the demons with, because you're too busy sitting around in therapy like a little girl. When anxiety turns up, you cower before it with your little weak, dull sword. I pull my blade and say, you now work for me. By force. I have depression. I have OCD. I have all of it. These demons work for me. I am the leader. They are my army. That is how I've conquered the world. If you're at home complaining, I have OCD, I have anxiety, I have depression, you need to get these demons in check. They are your weapons against mediocrity. Therapists will never tell you that. A therapist will say, oh, we have to get rid of your anxiety. We have to get rid of your anxiety. Just bend over and spread your butt cheeks. We're going to get rid of your anxiety. It's not a perfect world. It's a world of war and endless combat and chaos. My legion of darkness is made up of monsters because monsters fight monsters. I can only beat my enemies because of all my flaws, because of all my conditions, because of everything that's wrong with me. There's things wrong with me, supposedly, but all of those things work for me. And it seems that whenever I direct my chi at any task, even escaping the highest level matrix setup in the most corrupt country on the map, I somehow managed to pull it off. You think I got out of this Romanian bullshit situation with luck? You think I got out of it with law? You think I just sat around and the law helped me, or I was lucky? I woke up 4 or 5 times a night. I could not sleep. When you wake up and you cannot sleep, you know what you do? You lay in bed and cry like a baby. You lay in bed, wah, wah. I can't sleep like a fucking baby. The second I couldn't sleep, I was up, training, working, reading the Romanian law, learning a new language, finding Aikido, the European Court of Human Rights, endless Aikido, new legal teams, new money, new ways to combat their narratives, fighting the BBC, preparing for interviews, endless sets, endless reps, anxiety, OCD, fucking depression, everything. That's how I won. You can blink and cure your brain. You can say, I'm going to work really hard. And you know what? I'm not going to hate it. I'm not going to be stressed. And I'm not going to be bored. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love this work. I'm going to sit down for 12 hours and have the best time of my life working as hard as possible because I have decided I'm going to blink and cure my mind and I am going to enjoy the next 12 hours of focused work. And guess what? You'll work better than ever before.
I was afraid, and I used that fear to train as hard as possible. And you can apply that to life as a whole. You need to use the fear of being mediocre and use it to make you try as hard as possible. The reason with most mediocre people is they don't have a fear of being mediocre. They've listened to the matrix programming and they've been convinced that being mediocre is absolutely fine. It's fine to not be that successful. You know what? All our graves are the same size. Doesn't matter what you achieve in your life. Doop-de-doo, dumpty-dum. This is the slave mind. And I refuse to accept it. I do not accept that. I accept I'm an exceptional individual and I deserve an exceptional experience of the human consciousness. And that's what I'm going to fucking have. And it doesn't matter. If I have to do it myself, that's fine because no one else is going to do it for me. So yeah, there has to be a healthy fear. If you're genuinely scared and genuinely uncomfortable in a certain situation, you're going to move. If you fall asleep on your arm and it gets uncomfortable, you'll wake your ass up and move your arm. But if you're comfortable, you're not going to. So when I see somebody who's sitting in a rut and they've been in a rut for a long time, they're obviously, maybe, a couple times a week they're pissed off with the rut, when they got a bill they can't pay or whatever, and they'll message you going, I really need to get out. I've got to change my life, bro. But the second things aren't that bad, they're back to playing video games. So you're only uncomfortable 2 days a week. For 5 days a week, you're fine being a fucking loser. And that's why you're still a loser. When I had no money, James, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep a single night. I couldn't sleep. Where's my money? People have Lamborghinis. I ain't got one. I couldn't tolerate the pain in my mind. People don't have that drive. If you're not afraid of being a dumbass, you're going to stay a dumbass. That's it. You need fear. This is important, especially if you are at home and you're not yet as successful as you want to be. If you don't have your life in exactly the place you want it, if you still feel trapped, whether it's financially or some other way, after the disappointment, swallow the disappointment. Take a minute and look around you and say, I deserve more than this. But then, what's the important point? You must begin to work instantly.
Say depression isn't real. I said feeling depressed is real. But the idea that depression is going to strike you in your mind and there's nothing you can do about it, I think that is promoting helplessness amongst depressed people, and that's the reason they kill themselves. I don't think that making people helpless in an unfortunate situation is the great thing to do. You have to give people hope. And I explained that when you believe in something, you give it power. So I tried to say that when I felt at my lowest and I achieved the most I've ever achieved in my life, the reason I was capable of doing that is because I didn't believe in the paradigm of being a depressed person. I just believe that this is how I currently feel, and it, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my life to be better. And I gave a very simple example, an analogy. I said, if you take two people, one believes in ghosts and one doesn't, and you put them both in haunted houses, and in the middle of the night there's a bang. The person who believes in ghosts is now terrified. There's a ghost, they're calling an exorcist, they're panicking in the room, they're hiding. The person who doesn't believe in ghosts goes wind and goes back to sleep. It's the same noise, it's the same scenario, but it's the belief in their mind that terror and ruins their life. It's the belief in their mind that turns against them. And I've said this many times. I don't even give a shit about right and wrong. You can tell me depression's, you can give me with every scientific proof in the world depression, I refuse to believe in things that take my power away. I'm only going to construct a mental model that allows me to be as powerful as possible. If believing in the idea of depression is going to take my own power away, then I won't believe in it. I don't want to believe in things that make me weak. I believe in things that make me strong. And someone goes, well, you're wrong. Listen, let's assume you're correct and that makes me wrong. Let's say that you're right and you're depressed. Why would I want to adopt the thinking of a man who is sad? Why would I want to think like you? Wouldn't it better to be wrong and be happy and have a sports car and a yacht and a private jet? You want to talk about right? Look at your life. Why? Don't talk about right and wrong. Let's talk about success and results. I don't believe in things that take power. I never have. So when people email me and they start saying, I'm depressed. And what's funny is this. I talk to them and they desperately defend the idea of depression. I'm like, my friend, you just told me you're too depressed to be successful and depression has destroyed your life and you lost your girl. I'm telling you that the enemy in your life isn't real. And you're now sending me 10 emails a week trying to convince me that your enemy is a real thing. Why are you sticking up for this person, whatever it is, this idea destroyed you, and you're putting your energy into defending it? You should be on my team. Whose team are you on here? You want to sit here and convince me? I'm never going to believe you. I'm never going to adopt your thinking because your life is not successful enough for me to emulate. So why don't you try to adopt my way of thinking? Stop defending this. And they're defending it because it's a cure-all excuse. Depression or sadness is a cure-all excuse for men to use for failure. I have failed. This is why they say I don't believe in men's mental health, or the man who's depressed can't compete with the man who's not depressed. This quote. I say, listen, you get to roll out, be fat, be out of shape, be broke, be unimportant with no girlfriend. And instead of the world thinking you're a loser, you get to say, I'm not a loser, I'm depressed. It's a shield. Yeah. And I say, that's why you don't want to lose your shield. Because now you have accountability, now you have performance. It's a cop-out. Fuck it off. I don't give a shit if it's real or not. We're not about that. We're talking about success here. Get rid of your excuses, stop defending the thing that's ruined your life, and get to fucking work. And every time anyone has ever listened to me in history, every single one of them's transformed their lives and messaged me positive messages after. Every single time. That's why I'm antidepressant. Because that pill ain't gonna fix you the way becoming the man you wish you were is gonna fix you.
How it would feel to have this car, how it would feel to be in this place, how it would feel to be famous and internationally renowned, how it would feel to go to Saint-Tropez and live on a yacht, how it would feel to be able to fly on private planes, how it would feel to not have to worry about food anymore. My brother and I used to imagine for hours. We used to talk about it. We believed in this version of reality where we somehow made it. Not only do you lack motivation, you lack imagination. And that's why it's very important. You need to start believing you are the man, even if you're not yet. Before I was world champion, I knew I was going to be world champion. You have to believe these things. We had imagination and we had hunger and fire. You don't have those things. That's why you're fucked.
And there used to be for men like a rite of passage. In most societies, you had to go through something to become a man, from a boy to a man. But that thing was always difficult. It's always been difficult. Now you have to self-induce it, self-inflict it. But if you're going to be a boy and never bring on that self-inflicted rite of passage, how are you going to ever become a man? There's another thing people don't understand about me and my message. Sometimes I sit here and I say things that piss people off because that's how you trigger people to make action. I have often written emails or done videos to, especially to men when I want to help men, to piss them off. You're a loser. You're a dumbass. Andrew, why do you mean? Because you're not going to go to the gym unless I tell you you're a fucking loser. And you are a loser, and I'm not lying to you. You are a loser. The emotional trigger you need to get up off that chair is the fact that you're not important, nobody cares who you are, any girl you're ever in love with I could take, and you're insignificant. And when you die, nobody's interested. That's your fault. You could have been something else. You did that. You failed. It has to be done. You have to be a master communicator. And sometimes that involves also insulting people.
Become a great listener. Get around successful people and listen. Listen to what they say, and listen to how they say it. There is something to be said for style as well as content. And never has listening to successful people been easier or less costly than it is today. And you can listen to their ideas while you do something else. While driving your car, exercising, getting dressed in the morning, anytime. Listen over and over again until their ideas become your ideas. Their inspiration, your inspiration. They'll lift your spirit. They'll keep your mind on what's important, on your goal and how you can achieve it. Ideas well written, well spoken, well received, well learned, and well invested can be your driving life force for wealth and happiness. But remember, you can work hard and be sincere all your life and wind up broke and unhappy. You've got to be better than a good worker. You've got to be a good listener. Watch what successful people do. Here's why. Success leaves clues. Spend the money and time and the effort. They're all investments, time, effort, and money. But the payoff is so great, it's hard to compare the cost to the reward. Set up an educational fund. Remember, the best money spent is the money spent to cultivate the genius of your own mind and spirit.